difference between partners, associates, counsel, and paralegals? Part 1. This is a great question to ask before you look at your itemized legal bill, and I'm going to answer it from the perspective of helping you to get the best legal services from the best provider at the lowest possible cost. Let's start with partners. Partners almost always have the highest hourly billable rates, but that doesn't necessarily mean that a partner is going to be the best attorney at the firm when it comes to handling your particular matter. Partners have a lot of competing demands. They're business owners, just like you. So only a fraction of their day is spent doing substantive legal work or even managing cases and supervising other lawyers. Their real job is to generate business, bring in new clients, network, and to a certain extent manage relationships with existing clients. Although frankly, partners can get complacent about that and just assume that status quo bias will prevail, and even frustrated or ambivalent clients won't find new representation. I'm not saying that all partners are crappy lawyers by any means. Some are exceptional, and their spectacular client base is a reflection of that. But there are also pure rainmakers, as well as high status partners who are truly brilliant at puffing themselves up and selling themselves, and that's about it. The kind of people who I wouldn't want touching any legal work I personally require. Let's move on to counsel. Counsel are senior attorneys who, for one reason or another, either didn't want to be a partner or who were deemed by the existing partners to be ill-suited for partnership track, but too valuable to lose. There are a million reasons this happens. The attorney loves the law, but hates sales and marketing and networking. Or the attorney wants a better work-life balance. Or the attorney struggles with interpersonal communication, but is an extraordinary technical expert. Or, let me be blunt, the attorney is a star across the board, but their race or sexual orientation or gender doesn't match up with what the existing partners deem partnership material. Now, the reason why an attorney with 10 or more years of experience is counsel rather than a partner actually really isn't important from your perspective as the client. But you can have the most confidence that this lawyer is supremely qualified in their practice area, because if he wasn't a true subject matter expert, the firm would have fired his ass years before. Of counsel will probably have more practical and technical knowledge than most partners, and they'll probably be billed out at a slightly lower rate. They're honestly your best bet for any matter that's particularly complex, nuanced, or novel. Now let's do associates. Associates are the final category of attorneys at most law firms, although they really should be divided into junior associates who have less than about 3 years of practice, mid-level associates with about 4 to 6 years of practice, and senior associates with 7 or more years of experience. So for the first 2 or so years out of law school, junior associates are essentially on-the-job trainees. Even the brightest and hardest working ones just don't have the practical experience and knowledge yet to do much more than draft basic first drafts of documents, conduct legal research, or listen in and take notes on calls that another attorney is leading. If you ever feel like the law firm is using your matter as training grounds for a junior associate, and especially if they're billing you for it, it's really okay to express your displeasure about that. Mid-level associates can do great work, although there's a bit of variability. Some will be all in, gunning for partnership track, terrified of making errors, and trying to impress supervising attorneys, all to your benefit. Whereas others will be completely burnt out, and it's only a matter of time before they either quit or they're politely invited to pursue other job opportunities. But although your matter might suffer a little bit with respect to the latter, they're still being pretty closely supervised and mistakes are very likely to be caught. Now finally, senior associates have run the gauntlet, and much like of counsel, many will be true experts in the practice area, and they're more likely to be abreast of novel issues and changes in law compared to a partner who's just coasting on his originations. For aspiring partners, with the finish line coming into sight, they'll be highly incentivized to do excellent work for you. Now, I'll close here by acknowledging that I may have seemed a bit harsh on your average law firm partner, which isn't my intent, or at least not entirely. I'm also shamelessly biased in my assessment because, unfortunately, I've had to witness how some of the worst types of partners operate up close. Look, partner status is typically indicative of at least some baseline level of competence. And partners have enough competing demands that your work will probably, or at least hopefully, get delegated to the best person to handle it. And hopefully this video helps you to understand why having someone whose title isn't partner can actually be a very good thing. To that end, I've saved the final category, those unsung heroes known as paralegals, for a follow-up video. So please stay tuned for part 2. Business owners, do you feel more comfortable if your primary attorney has the title partner as opposed to associate or of counsel? Let us know.